Welcome to another edition of Walton Entertainment. Today we'll have more news, information, and entertainment from your local hometown.
And our program today is Congressman Jody Hice. We have his bio in your program, so I'd like to just say thank you for being here. And let's give Congressman Jody Hice a Walton County welcome.
Wow, thank you so much. What an incredible crowd. It is so good to be back home and to be with you. There's no place in the world like home. I tell people all the time, the best part of every week is getting on that plane and headed back south to Georgia, to the 10th District. I tell everybody, one of my last parting words is goodbye, Washington. I'm going to America. And they're like, let's get home. Let's get home. So I cannot really adequately express the honor that it is to be back here with you. Let me introduce a couple of people who are with me here today. Up front, Ben Stout. Many of you probably know Ben. He works out of our Monroe office right here, and Ben is one of those who's everywhere. He's pretty much at every meeting all the time and does an outstanding job for us, and we're just extremely honored to have him and his leadership here in the district. I see Katie Dwyer right back here. Katie, stand up real quickly. I'm sure people have not met you before. Katie is actually from our DC office, and she has come down today just to spend some time in the district. It's always important for us to get our DC staff down here in the district. I want everybody, we work extremely closely together, both from the district and the DC staff. And one of the things that is important to me is to get everybody in DC down here in the district in different places. Katie's our newest member of our staff in Washington, so this is this is August. This is not her first trip to the district, but it's the first time in terms of weeks that she is having different trips to come down and be in the district. She's a legislative assistant for us, does absolutely a fantastic job for us. And then Colonel Edward Sheeler, are you in the room? I know he had a couple of technical issues that he was trying to work with on my phone in particular, so that's probably where he is right now with IT. But he works out of our Milledgeville office and likewise does an incredible job. And let me just lay this out for you, then I want to hit on a couple of real quick things, then we'll have some Q&A. But, listen, I just believe wholeheartedly that we've got absolutely the best staff of any congressional office in Washington. And that is both in Washington and here in the district. I tell you, they are absolutely incredible. And, we don't always get the answers that we want, but I'm telling you, if you have any issue with the federal government, whether it's something as easy as passports or difficult as the IRS or veterans issues or whatever it may be, and I'm sure nobody in here ever has issues with the federal government, but just in case something like that might ever happen, please reach out to us. That's what we are here for. We're here to help you and assist you with those kind of issues, so please reach out to us, and I can promise you that our staff will go to bat for you. And I could not be more pleased to have them than I am. So please reach out to us. All right, let me hit on a couple of things. Lot of things in the news. We all see that. It is a difficult time, isn't it? We're living in some pretty turbulent days in our country. Let me just give you kind of a couple of things. There's no way I could cover everything. That's why I really want to get to some Q&A. But let me just give you a couple of highlights, and then we'll just back off. And so if you have some questions, be thinking about that. First of all, obviously, the economy is booming, continues to boom. We have had multiple meetings throughout the district. In fact, we just are coming here from meeting with the economic development team in Gwinnett County. And as you well know, we've got about 20% of Gwinnett is in the 10th District. So we just met with them a little while ago. We've had a couple different job fairs, one down around the Walton County, Newton County area, just south of here, and another one that we just recently had over in the Augusta side of the district. And y'all, I'm telling you, it is absolutely phenomenal what is happening across the country economically, but specifically what's happening here in Georgia, and even closer home to that, the 10th District. I don't have any question the 10th District has just set the charge. It's setting the pace even as to what's happening in our state, which, as you already know, has been the #1 state in the country in which to do business now for 6 consecutive years. And right in the heart of that incredible statistic is the 10th District, where we've got, I mean, y'all see it right down here with what's happening on Facebook and Takata, and we've, even rural counties. I don't know if any of you ever go out to Tolliver County, for example. Here's a county right down the road. Tolliver County does not even have a grocery store in the entire county. And here, Harrison Poultry is building a big poultry feed plant right there in Tolliver County. It will be employing 300 people in a county that probably doesn't have, what is it?
1,600.
1,600 people in the entire county. I knew it was less than 2,000. 1,600 people, and here's 300 jobs coming. And it's just happening all across the district. I could give you one example after another, and you are benefiting from it. 2 primary reasons for this. Number one, the president has been phenomenal in his administration in cutting back regulations. Now over 2,000 regulations that they have been able to erase, and to, in so doing, take the shackles off of so many businesses. And the economic engine of our free enterprise system has just been absolutely indescribable to express the benefit that has come from so many regulations that have been removed, eradicated. There's still a long ways to go, but what has been done has been amazing. That, coupled with the tax cut bill, has just been a combination that has been amazing for this country. Over 6 million jobs now added in just over 2 years. Well, that is unprecedented. Record low unemployment, record high wages for the average American. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on. You see it, your businesses are growing, and just your presence here today is an enormous testament as to what's happening in the economy and the opportunities that are out there. One of the big things we hear is workforce, that growing and opportunity is one thing, but trying to find a workforce is another. What great problems to have. We have seen the other side of this picture, didn't we? Just 10 years ago, many in this room, it was a struggle to keep on going. And it's fantastic what's happening in our economy. And hats off to you for what you are doing with the deregulation and the tax cuts and reinvesting in your businesses, in the communities, and so forth. And what is happening is just amazingly exciting. And we want to help keep that going. Let me hit another topic that's a little bit different. I've just come back from yet another trip to the southern border. If you were to kind of look at this all the way from California to East Texas on the U.S.-Mexican border, there are 9 sectors. They divide them up in what they call sectors. I think now, if I'm not mistaken, I've been to 6 of the 9 sectors. Most recently just got back from, we started in West Texas and went through New Mexico and Arizona. I think in all the sectors I've been in, I believe I have now been to all the border patrol agent offices, detention centers, ICE facilities. We have spoken with hundreds of border agents. We've spoken with multiple landowners. We have been in and out of everything there is to be in and out of as it relates to what's happening on the border. And I can tell you the crisis, the emergency is far, far beyond anything I could ever describe to you. It is, I just give you a couple of examples that we are outmanned, we are outfinanced, we are out-equipped. Every inch of the border, from California to East Texas, every inch on the Mexican side is controlled by one or another cartel. They own it all. No one comes into the U.S. without paying the cartels to get here. The average cost right now, what we're being told, is between $5,000 and $6,000 a head. And you see the numbers, 100,000 plus or more or less coming across every month right now. And you start looking at these figures and it is astronomical. That, in addition to the human trafficking, the drug smuggling, all of this combined. We were on the Rio Grande sector, I think 2 months ago, the Rio Grande Valley sector. That sector alone, they estimate that the cartels just on the other side of the river are profiting $82 million a week. $82 million a week. Just to put things in perspective, our entire budget for the Rio Grande Valley sector is $13 million a year. And the cartels bringing in some $82 million a week. 36 tons of marijuana coming across that sector every week. 36 tons, and that's just of marijuana. That's not including heroin, cocaine, fentanyl, and all sorts of other kinds of drugs. It is astronomical what is happening. It is just, it is stunning to me the lack of willingness to address what's happening on our border. It is inexcusable. The drugs, the human trafficking, our border agents are overwhelmed. I mean, there's so many people coming over. Our agents, half of our border agents are not even watching the border right now because they are so inundated with just processing the people who are coming across. I met agent after agent, one agent. They're not even going out in twos anymore. One agent responsible for anywhere from 5 to 10 miles of border. And they cannot take a step without cartels seeing everything they're doing. And so they will send a handful of people across the border over here. Our agent has to go over here to try to deal with these people, to apprehend them, to do what they can. And while he's over here, or she, you've got drugs and whatever else going on over here on this side of that. So it's just absolute insanity. In the El Paso area where we just were, since January of this year, we were told 57 different countries have come across that one sector alone since January of this year. So we are being inundated, y'all. I just don't even know how to. All my trips that have been down there, I come back absolutely infuriated. I mean, I knew the situation was bad, but having seen it now in multiple sectors and multiple times, it is infuriating that here in the United States of America, we are not defending our borders, and we are not adequately finding out who is entering our country for what purpose, and on and on and on and on. I could talk for hours on this particular issue, but let me move on. And if any of you have any questions on any of this or whatever, feel free. Recently, we passed a spending bill. Passed the House, the Senate, and the President signed it. I have grave concerns about it. We are $22 trillion in debt right now, rapidly approaching $23 trillion in debt. I did not support this spending bill. I strongly voted against it and was very vocal about that. In fact, right after the bill passed the House, one of my friends stood up with a privilege motion to change the name of the bill to the Kick the Can Down the Road and for Other Purposes Act. And I proudly supported that name change as well, which of course went nowhere. But now listen, we have got to get our financial house in order. That spending bill added another $320 billion of new spending. In addition to that, it gave 2 years of unlimited debt ceiling spending. So we've got 2 years of no limit, a signed check with no limit to what our debt ceiling can be for 2 years. And I mean, I get the intention that we just got to get beyond the election and then go from there. I get the arguments on the other side, but I could not in any shape, form, or fashion come to support that. And I just, y'all listen, let me just break this down for you in simple terms. There are two primary groups in Washington who are absolutely addicted to spending. And those groups are Democrats and Republicans. That is the problem. And so it's on both sides of the aisle, this addiction to spending your tax dollars. And we have got to get this under control. And hopefully, at this point, after the election, maybe we will be able to get some authentic steps in that direction. Are you looking at me as though I'm...
Well, I was just getting ready for Q&A. If you want to do that, or you want to help.
Okay, let me hit one more in 2 minutes. Y'all listen, you just, all my staff calls me boss, and then they tell me what to do all day long. And Ben excels in that category in a great way. But really, he gets me everywhere I'm supposed to be on time, and it is a pretty tight schedule. Let me hit one more real quick thing, and then we will take Q&A, and I'll let Ben will lead that for us. All of us as a nation, I think every single person in this room has been deeply shaken by what happened in our country about 10 days ago, both in Dayton, Ohio, and El Paso. And I've had tons of people ask me what's going to happen with it, what are we going to do, and all that sort of stuff. Let me just kind of openly say this first and foremost. These type of occurrences and mass murders and violence and evil that we are seeing like this does nothing but highlight the spiritual and moral collapse and decay that we are experiencing in this country. And it is absolutely impossible to me for us to look at a gun and say the gun is a problem without addressing other multiple issues that are involved in this. Guns don't shoot people, people shoot people. People commit crimes, people do acts of violence, not an instrument, whatever the instrument may be. And this type of thing to me highlights the more we leave God out of the equation, the more issues like this we're going to have. So we have the breakdown of the family as well. The vast majority of these mass shooters have grown up in families absent the fathers primarily. We've got spiritual issues. All that to say, I'm very concerned with the red flag laws that are being presented. We will get more into this when we return back to session, but at least the red flag laws that I've seen can be massively abused and allow people, if for no other reason, being vindictive. Red flag laws, if you're not familiar, allows family members to call authorities and say, I have a family member who I think is dangerous. You need to go check into this and take their weapons from them. You know, we have a lot of people just for vindictive reasons. They don't like so-and-so, can call authorities, and without any due process, the authorities go in and take their weapons, a massive infringement of the Second Amendment. And so I'm very, very concerned with these type of proposals that are coming forth, and my default is to oppose that. At the same time, I do think there is probably some room where the needle can be threaded, where we have so often these people who commit these kind of crimes broadcast their intent on social media or wherever, and when we have people who are broadcasting that, I think there may be room there to address these people and confront them before they commit a crime. But anyways, I just wanted to put that on the table a little bit of, this problem is much deeper than an instrument or a particular weapon. There are both spiritual and other issues that we need to look at. With that, why don't we take some Q&A, and Ben, why don't you tell us what we're going to do?
Yeah, so we'll start with about 10 minutes of Q&A, and we'll finish up with a kind of a rapid fire thing. But But this is questions on whatever Congressman Heiss talked about, or any questions that deals with anything. You're welcome to ask any questions that you'd like. I'll tell you out. Please keep it to questions and not comments. Does anybody have any questions? Mr. Posner.
No, but I just need the answer. That's all. Jody, where's Dee?
Where's Dee Dee? My wife. Paul always wants to know, he doesn't give a rip about me. Every time I'm anywhere, his first question is, where's Dee Dee? And I will be sure to let her know that was your question. Dee Dee is at home right now. Dee Dee actually just got home Sunday from about 10, I think maybe 12 days in Texas. Our older daughter, she and the family are in Texas, and school is about to start out there. So Dee Dee has been with them, with the grandkids, for almost 2 weeks. She just got back, and she was pretty well still crashing when I left this morning. But I will let her know. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, Jody, how far are we with the border wall? Talking about the southern border.
Yeah, listen, how far are we with the border wall? We're making the progress that is being made with the border wall only has to do with improving existing walls. At this point, there is no new funding for new walls. That being said, that's a great help. It's a great start. Again, this just last week or 2 weeks ago, there are miles and miles and miles and miles of wall that you can just go step over. I mean, there's just virtually nothing there. So the walls that we do have some funding to deal with now will address those kinds of problems and enable us to repair existing walls and make them sufficient. Listen, again, the wall in and of itself is just one component to securing our borders, but what the wall does, it forces people to go to our points of entry. And once we are able to move people to the points of entry, then we have a much better chance of capturing contraband and human smuggling and all sorts of other illegal activity that may be going on. Right now we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles. I can't tell you what I saw on the border. Just flooding across. So the wall is an important component. Obviously, in addition to that, we need, listen, we need asylum judges, we need more border agents, we need more technology, but we've got to be able to address the loopholes that are creating this mess, and that is with our asylum and our family unit laws that we currently have. And it would probably help a lot if we did enforce the laws that we already have on the books. That's kind of a reason we have those things too. So multifaceted issues, but that's where we are on the wall.
How much chance is there of the tariffs being lifted before the election? Is there any chance?
What's the chance of the tariffs being lifted before the election? That's going to be very difficult to do. Listen, here's number one. The president ran on dealing with China and dealing with this issue of unfair trade that has existed between the United States and China for decades. Decades. We as a country, we have been getting kicked in the gut with China for decades. The president ran on fixing that, and he is doing so. That being said, the tariffs are a pain for everyone, and it's difficult. But I'm telling you, if we quit this battle now, we will never win this thing. China will always look at us as the U.S. is weak. Just hold out long enough and they'll cave. It's, we're at the point now, it's like swimming across a lake and you're halfway through and you realize, I might not make it, I better swim back. You just well keep going at this point. And that's where we are. We have got to keep going. I believe that we're going to win this battle. And primarily because the reality is economically that China desperately needs the U.S. economy. They need us. And for that, I believe at the end of the day, we're going to be able to win this. But it's going to be rough. I see the possibility of some compromise perhaps between now and the election, but I see no chance of us backing down. We can't. We will never win this issue if we back down.
Do you expect more?
So I can't speak in behalf of the president on what their intentions are. I would be out of place to do so, but I am pleased, I'm proud of the president for sticking his grounds on this. And I do believe we're going to win at the end of the day.
Yes, ma'am.
This came up from a friend of mine that sits on the other side of the aisle, the way I think, but it was a good question. My question is, the 600 immigrants that were rounded up at the poultry plant, what happens to the CEO or the HR departments of these companies? How are they being held responsible for hiring people? And, what do we see going down if they keep, taking care of within states the illegal problem?
That's a question I really don't have the answer for. I don't know what's happening to the. I will say the safest way for companies to deal with it is to utilize E-Verify. I think most companies are doing that. Who hire a lot of immigrants. I think most of them, for their own safety, use E-Verify. If that's the case, then they're going to be fine. If not, there may be some consequences. I don't know what those consequences may be. But I would be willing to venture that the vast majority of those companies are utilizing E-Verify for their own protection. But what the consequences may be for them, I really don't know the answer. We can find out. I try.
Are there things in place usually from those states for responsibility?
For the consequences side of things? Oh yeah. I'm sure they're out there, and I'm sure it varies from state to state. But I don't have off the top of my head what that would be. But if you'd like, we can try to find out more specifics. If you'll just get with us afterwards, we'll get someone on it.
Yes, Miss Cindy.
Jody, kind of like the elephant and the donkey in the room, so we keep both equal. The big thing that we see and deal with in the ministry is mental illness. And, when you talk about red flags, things like that, where are y'all at and what are you working on to help with the mental illness problem in this country?
Yeah, great question. And that is one of the things, frankly, that does have pretty strong bipartisan support, both sides of the aisle. And we have already passed a number of bills to try to address mental illness from multiple different perspectives. I was reading just last week, going back over some of the things that we have passed. And I can't think of very many of them right now, but I just within the last 10 days, I was looking at, there's probably at least 10 to 12 different categories that we have funded to address mental issue concerns. I think probably most of those are coming to states in the form of grants and the ability so that the federal government is not dictating what states are doing, but enabling the states to utilize some of those funds to address the issue the way that they best see fit. But there are multiple ways that has been addressed. Again, I'll try to get the same list that I saw a couple of weeks ago to you if you'd like that. But that does have good, strong bipartisan support, and there's quite a bit that has been done. Y'all, listen, this is it's kind of good news, bad news for me personally with this, because it does most often when there is an issue in Washington to address, the answer is always more money, throw more money at it, which is good news, bad news, right? I mean, where we need more funding, we need more funding. But my question is, does the additional funding always address the problem? And that will be, time will tell us whether those funds are effectively used to address the mental illness problem. But no question, this is a matter of grave concern that has to be addressed from the local level on up.
We have time for one more quick question. Yes, sir.
Does that address politicians driving?
It ought to. It certainly should. People talk to me a lot about artificial intelligence, and I say, well, there's plenty of that in Washington, D.C., so hopefully it will.
That was super quick. We'll get this one right here. Yes, ma'am.
What's the chances of Social Security funding being addressed before an absolute crisis? It already is a crisis, but an absolute.
There is zero chance of that being addressed before the election. There is, and I'll just be frank with you. Both sides of the aisle are scared to death to address Social Security, but it's got to be addressed. One thing that we are proposing and an advocate of is to not change it for any of those who are either in it or who are in the next 10 years or whatever are going to be going in it. Maybe 15 years. I don't have a time frame, but for those who are just entering the market, the workplace, they need to have options, because the reality is Social Security is unsustainable in the current course that it's in. And we have got to enable our children, our grandchildren, to enter into the work market with options on their hand other than an unsustainable program right now. That being said, we have people who've been paying into Social Security for decades, their whole life. It's totally unfair, and it's wrong for us to pull that carpet out from under them at this point. And so, to me, the way you address it is give assurance to those who are in it or who are going to be going into it, and you start offering alternatives for those who are entering or who have recently entered the work market, so they have plenty of time to prepare for retirement. Okay? Listen, thank y'all so much. Always, always, always an honor to be with y'all, and I'm just so grateful to represent you in Washington. Please don't ever hesitate reaching out to us, and God bless you. Y'all keep the torch ablaze. Thank you.
What better way to welcome in the fall season than with the annual Autumn Fest? So come and enjoy some live entertainment. There's plenty of activities for the kids and around 200 vendors offering crafts, promoting local businesses, as well as food to tempt your taste buds.
We love coming to Autumn Fest each year, my kids and I. We love all the different vendors we have here. The food is phenomenal. It's just a good time for all of our family, and to see everybody here at Loganville. It's just a joy.
Please come out and join us. You just cannot imagine how much fun you can have. Meet lots of new friends. I've made many friends over the years at the festival.
It's all happening at the Autumn Fest in downtown Loganville on Main Street. Saturday, October 19th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We'll see you there. We're right in the middle of summer, and that means it's time to get those portraits done. Summer portraits are so wonderful for families and for individuals. Whether it just be you or your family, it's time to book that summer photo session. Let me turn your summer moments into portrait art. Contact me today at 770-656-5794 or check me out on the web at darylproductions.com.
Hi, welcome to Monroe Walton Center of the Arts. Right now in the gallery, and admission is always free, just to remind you, we have our fiber art show. So that means that items made from fiber, things made with a fiber technique are included in the show, and it's just fabulous. It's probably my personal favorite show that we've had in 2.5 years. It's just really unique, lovely, amazing. You'll be inspired if you come, so do come by and see the fiber show. It's here through almost the end of October. I think October 22nd will be the end of the fiber show. So come on in. We're open 6 days a week and see the fiber show. And today I wanted to talk a bit about the back to school programs that we have here. We have lots of kids activities here. And in September, the first Tuesday and Wednesday in September, our after-school arts program will begin again, ASAP. So Art ASAP will be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. There are actually 3 different classes on those 2 days. And there's a class for ages 7 to 11, and then there's a class for ages 12 and up. So that will be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays starting that first week in September. Ongoing already right now is our high school art class. That's on Thursdays from 4 to 6. That's already started. And we also have kids pottery. That's on Wednesday afternoons at 4:45 till 5:45. And that's already started back up too. So we have kids pottery in high school, art classes already going, and then the middle and elementary classes will start in September. The other thing that we have every single month is painting and pizza parties. That's the first Saturday of every month. Every month is a different project, but they paint a little 12 by 12 square, and they've painted everything from BB-8 to angelfish and underwater scenes and space scenes and just all kinds of fantastic, beautiful paintings. And that's for ages 6 and up. And that's with Donna Kaufman, and that's the first Saturday of every month from 12 to 2. It's $25, and that includes all the supplies for the paint, craft that they'll be doing, and also, of course, pizza and a drink. That one you really have to sign up early for because it fills up pretty fast. So if you want more information about our children's programming, you can always call here and talk to me. The number here is 770-207-8937. Or you can email Donna. She is our education chairman, and she is kind of the leader, especially over our children's programming. And Donna's email is Donna, D-O-N-N-A, at monroeartguild.org. And you can email her and ask her to put you on her list for parents of kids that are interested in our children's programming. You'll get the first notice when our paint and pizza parties are coming up or any other special events are coming up. So bring your kids here, let them see this fiber show, pick up a class list while you're here, get information about our Saturday soirees that are coming up. We have one planned for September, the second Saturday in September, and the second Saturday in October, along with the city's fall festival. So lots going on here, over 60 classes on the class list already for August. Tons going on, see the show, hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Creative artists can offer you a wide range of video production. Call the experts and discuss your project today, whether it's your special event or your company. Creative Artist, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist produces this program you're watching. Call Creative Artist today, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist, they'll put you in the spotlight.
Hi, I'm Jody Johnson. I'm here with the Recreation Report. Today I want to talk about 3 special projects that we've got going on. A couple are our building projects, and one is our West Walton in Loganville. The Booster Club there donated us about $75,000 towards the project, and the county was able to use some impact money to finish out the project, and we're about 3/4 of the way done with it, which is a indoor hitting facility. We already have one here at Crystal Park, and Loganville is one of our bigger programs that we have, so they're in pretty good need, especially during our evaluation times when we start in January with evaluations. It's usually really cold. You never know when it's going to rain, so we're building a 4-cage facility up there. It'll have AstroTurf in it. It'll have a few heaters to keep it warm and a couple storage rooms. So have a great place to do for teams to practice from February into opening day, which is usually around mid-March, and then on those rainy days they'll have a great place to practice. Anyway, it's a 60 by 80 foot metal structure. It's already done. The concrete slab's done. We've already got the carpet in. Right now the electricity is going in, and then we've already got the inside frame where we'll put plywood up, and then we'll hang the cages. So somewhere around the 1st of November we should have that finished. So looking forward to having that extra facility in Loganville. I'm not sure you're aware, but the county did purchase the additional land in Loganville between the West Walton Park and the community center at Meridian Park. So we got additional acreage there from Judge Starks, and we're able to use some older SPLOST money to purchase that land as well. So we know park land is very crucial, and they're not making any more land in Walton County, so that we need to grab it when we can. Another park that we're trying to create is the park in between. And we have some SPLOST money from this previous SPLOST. We call it in the tail end of about $1.3 million. And we're going to break ground on a new splash pad, which we're hoping to have up and running by next spring when the weather turns back warm again. We're hoping to have that finished, and it'll be a fairly large splash pad. It's around $800,000 in total with the parking lot and the water features, and then also an adaptive or a handicapped feasible playground that will be there with the rubber surface. And then with the funds that we have left over, we'll build a concession stand and bathrooms and a adaptive or a turf type field that we'll be able to utilize for some of our younger age groups and for our Walton Adaptive Sports Program, which will make it wheelchair accessible. And so it's going to be a really nice little smaller park that we think that the entire county, it's in between, which is basically very centrally located with the population center of Walton County. I'm going to show a couple pictures of the what we propose that it will look like. Once it's built, this will be there with a couple of pavilions that you'll be able to rent, and then also eventually we'll add on another section for the splash park. It's a 0 level, so there won't be any lifeguards or anything. I'm not sure whether there'll be a charge to utilize it or not. It just depends once we get it built and how it's set up, whether it'll be a small charge to get in there. But it seems like a great place to go and cool off, especially if you know how hot it's been the last few days here in August, the dog days of August. It's been extremely hot. So it's a great place. We do not have a public swimming pool here in Walton County, but this will be a great place for kids to come and cool off and play, birthday parties, reunions, that sort of thing. A lot of our teams at the end of the season like to get together. So this is going to be a great place for all of the county to utilize. Another program that we have going on, and we're just starting our fall program. We're starting our opening day this middle of August. Start our baseball and softball, our jamboree with football. Soccer will be starting soon. So all of those programs are beginning here in the middle of August and will run through mid-October, and then of course, basketball season will start, so we have set our registration dates for basketball. And I do want to let you know that is September 9th through the 14th, Monday through Friday. Thursday will be open late for anybody that wants to come in to the office from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then Saturday from 9 to 1 p.m. Of course, about 80 to 90% of people are doing it online, and I'll put this up as well so you can see how you can do that registration online. Okay, so we hope you'll register for basketball. Again, it's coming up September 9th through the 14th, so it's less than a month away. Make sure you let everyone know that we want to do that. We have about 1,000 kids that participate in our basketball program. For some reason, basketball is one of our largest sports. It seems to be for a single sport. Anyway, whether you're playing baseball or football or you're a softball player, it seems like everybody wants to stay fit during basketball season. So it's a big program, and we are limited. We only have 5 gyms, so get in there and sign up early. Online registration is the best place to go. You don't have to wait in line. You just fill out the online forms, and you can pay right there online on site. So no waiting in lines. All the information on when the evaluations and all that will be prompted and given to you. So we do have a lot of programs here going on this fall. Again, I told you we're starting our football program this Saturday, middle of August here, and we'll be playing Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays throughout the rest of the fall, the summer and fall, and we'll end somewhere around mid-October. It's the best time of the year for youth sports. The weather is usually great. It's usually fairly dry, so we have a great opportunity to get all these games in for the kids. Now school has started back, and we know schoolwork first, but getting the kids out from the TVs and going to the park and playing is also it's not equally important, but it's very important. So we hope you'll do that. We're always looking for volunteers, and with that, another program that we've started here this year is our badge program. So we have a lot of volunteers that come in, and we do background checks on all of our head coaches, all of our assistant coaches, and then with that, we're asking each one to submit a picture, and we're doing badges this year. So you'll see something different if you go to our fields. Each coach will have a badge on, and we do know that some people will forget those. So we do have guest badges with lists that some of our staff will be handing out guest badges for those folks that forget it. But you'll know that those folks have gone through background checks, and we have looked into it. We're not perfect, and we're not saying everybody that has a history is not a good role model, but we do the best we can to monitor who is responsible for all the kids that are participating. So that's one extra step we're thinking will help, is coming up with this badge system to let people know, hey, that person has gone through the proper procedures. Something we'll do each and every sport to make sure that the kids are safe in our community. We're not as small as we used to be here in Walton County. We're getting to that 100,000 population, so unfortunately, we don't know everybody. We try to get to know everyone that participates, but we want you to know that we're doing a good job in taking care of the coaches and volunteers. We do want you to volunteer. Don't be scared to do that. Everything is confidential when you come in and talk with us and do a background check. So I encourage you to volunteer. It's nothing more rewarding than giving your time to make a positive impression on a kid. And youth sports is the best way to do that. So remember, sportsmanship always starts at home. And we've got a lot of great programs. Go to our website at waltoncountyga.gov. Until next time, thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful, the Walton County Recycling Center. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Here at the center, we're staying super busy. It's wide open here. Business has stayed steady. It's pretty much year round now, but we're still kind of in summer mode, and in the summer it's always a little busier than any other time of year, and that's certainly the case again this year. A lot of what we're working on, we're gearing up and getting ready for our Rivers Alive event. Again, that's Saturday, October 5th. We would still accept volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers. It's one of our bigger and better events. So if you're looking for any project hours or volunteer hours, or you just want to pitch in, to be pitching in, feel free to give us a call here at 770-267-1421, and we'll find some areas for you to clean up to help us out on that day. So again, give us a call. You can send us a message on Facebook if that's easier for you. But let us know. We were always looking for volunteers, and we'd be happy to have you. We've gotten a good response so far, and I think just looking at the early numbers, we're looking to probably be up around 300 volunteers again this year to help us with our Rivers Alive event. So we're excited about that, but we did want to try to reach out a little more this year to take on some new volunteers if people wanted to volunteer. 300's a lot of volunteers, but I do think we could find a way to handle more if the interest is there. So again, that's something to think about, and reach out to us if you want to learn more about it or volunteer. Also, looking a little past that, we will be running into America Recycles Day, which is every November 15th. And we've already kind of set an early date for our America Recycles Day event with the paint collection. We will be doing that again, and we're looking to do that on Saturday, November 16th. It's still a little early. I don't have all of the details of that one yet, but I did kind of want to make you aware so you can be thinking about it and kind of rounding up your paint and checking to see if you have paint. We will be doing that again this year, and the early date for that has not been completely set in stone yet, but is very close to that, is Saturday, November 16th. We normally go from about 8 a.m. to lunch, and I'm assuming we'll do something like that again this year. Again, I'll have you something more concrete in the coming weeks. But it's a good opportunity to get rid of paint, and paint's not easy to get rid of. If you've ever tried to get rid of it before, you probably already know that. But it is a good opportunity to get rid of any old paint you have around the house. I'll get you more information on that as we go forward, and we hope to maybe have another event other than paint collection on that day as well. We'll see how that works out. Don't know exactly what that is yet, but we are looking into some things, and we will keep you posted as we go forward. And as I always do, and I guess I always will, if you don't know much about Keep Walton Beautiful or the Walton County Recycling Center, give us a call or just come out and see us. That's even better. You can see the place. We can sit down and talk. We can take a tour of the facility. We can show you some of the things we're recycling here that aren't recycled at a lot of other places. We can show you what we do as far as education around the county on environmental issues. And we'd be happy to get you started coming in and seeing us, bringing your recycling here, or anything like that. We just want to be a resource to our county and the community, and that's why we strive so hard to reach out. We want our outreach to be one that's noticed in the county. So come out and see us. Give us a call. Again, our number is 770-267-1421. We look forward to speaking with you. We look forward to seeing you. If you have any questions, call us, and until next time, take care.
You're watching Walton Entertainment.
Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in today. We're going to show you some dogs and cats that are available for adoption here at Walton County Animal Control. You know, it's the dog days of summer. I know that's an astrological term. Not many people even know what it means anymore, but we just mean it for those hot days that come right around in Georgia in July, August, September, when that heat can really kick up. So in the dog days of summer, we want you to remember your dog during the summer. Just make sure that if you keep your dog outside, that you've got plenty of shade, plenty of water and shelter for it. You know, the best thing is if you have to run to the grocery store, don't even bring it with you. Yeah, the dog can be in the car with the AC on, but you know, something can happen while you're in the store. Just leave your pet at home indoors in the air conditioner, and he's gonna love you so much more for it. So while it's those days that's really hot out and you don't want to be outside, your dog probably doesn't want to either. So go ahead and bring him in the house and everything will be great. We're going to show you some dogs and cats that are available for adoption here, or as always, you can look on our website, waltonpets.net, to do some window shopping. Adoption fee is just $40.
We have a black lab male that he is neutered. He's probably about 4 years old. Seems like he has some kind of a flea allergy problem on the back. Seems to get along well with others and very sweet.
This is Walker. He was found on Walker Drive. He's an adult pit bull mix, and he's probably around 3 to 4 years old. And he's very sweet and loving, and he'll be available for adoption August 15th.
This is Cooper Copper. He's a coon hound. He's about 2-3 years old. He's already neutered. Very friendly, very talkative. Probably make somebody a good house dog.
We got a female. She's probably about 2-3 years old. Chihuahua somewhere. Very sweet. Loves everybody. Needs a good home fast.
This is Karina. She was found on Walker Drive too. She is a shepherd mix, probably mixed with husky. She is a 2-year-old female. She's very friendly and loving. She's good with other dogs. And she just loves to be petted.
Come here, Daisy. You sit. This is Daisy. She's like a Dutch shepherd mix. She's about 3 or 4 years old. Very sweet, lots of energy. Looking for a home.
Put your head in here. Now, I did leave you here. I brought you a paintbrush in case you make to put the slip on.
So when it dries,
so you didn't have to stick your finger in it. Because you got to.
Oh, I like that sunflower. That is great.
Dad was like,
Like,
you know what, like these are like really thick.
Yeah, it's gonna be perfect. Feel good?
Yes.
All right. So you're a little bit older. I'm certain that you can do this. The only thing that when I started doing this and experiencing with the different kinds of strings and stuff, I picked this because it's so durable, but then I realized the knot was so big and ugly. When it shows, nobody wants to see that. So that's why I started using this. But all the knot it really is 3 sets of 3 square knots, just like you're first starting to tie your shoe. And the first one, you don't want to do the first one too tight. You're just basically telling these beads to be friends, because if you go ahead and start pulling super tight right now, it's going to be stressed all of its life, and that's why some of them pop, because they're stressed all the time. So this one right here, you're just doing it kind of loosely. So that was 1, 2, still not pulling tight, 3. So we have a knot, but if we decided to cut it right now, it would just fall apart. So now you're going to go up underneath, and you're going to do the same thing, but you're just going to do it underneath. So that's making it be kind of three separate knots. So that's going to be 1. And at this point, we've established it already, so now you can start getting a little bit rougher and making sure that knot's going to stay real firm. So that's 1, 2. You can feel the pressure, feel that pressure right there. So you're doing it to where you're having a lot of pressure to work that knot in there, but you're not breaking it. And then 3. And then you're going to go up top again. And some people say, I feel like I'm going to break it. It should not break right now. You should be able to do all this with it. If it does break, that means there's a defect in the cord. And I have gotten a package of defective cord before. So if you want it to break, you want it to break right now.
This has been a fun day for the Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. As you can see, the children had a lot of things to do, just all types of activities, so it was really a fun time. Next time they have something like this event, you might want to bring your children down here. It's a lot of fun. This is Paul Mullins with Walton Entertainment.